Yeah, and I feel like, flipping through the notebook, Thunder Awaken, like, wait, it's through. Oh, it's through. Yeah. I guess we could just go for it. But I mean, it works. It's gonna be a real pain as well for the Shadow Fiend to deal with if it ends up being a carry. Of course, first few levels, fine. Then Brute hit 6, and you're out of here. Most heroes are out of here. You just stop being able to deal with it. And so
Okay.
they changed things and they pick up the Slark. And I do like the Slark, especially because versus Spirit Breaker, very nice in the lane if it is going to be a Spirit Breaker 5 or 4, whatever. Very easy to punish, but I don't know. That's a hero that doesn't directly answer the Brood. Sure, you're able to get vision of her at nighttime. You're able to run her out. Once you get Ags, maybe you can track her down, but you do not do anything versus the spiders.
Yeah. Got you've got Dark Pact, but that's not going to be consistent, or in some instances may not actually be enough damage to kill the spiderlings at all. So hardly rely upon that. But if you're Infinity, you needed something, and the Slark does have some benefits. In the meantime, though, we move into the final phase of the bans. Infinity focused in on the carry position and looking for carries that can match the tempo that it kind of feels like Thunder Awaken are going for. And in that regard, ET, the Bloodseeker ban, even if it's not there to directly counter anything, does seem like a pretty solid choice.
Yeah, and protects the sword pick is very annoying. Makes it so that way when you're farming, you get the thirst vision, but you stop healing. It's just a pain to have to deal with. But I wonder what we're gonna see from Oscar, because we still need that answer. We need that hero that Oscar gets his level 6, then rotates to the Brood lane, anchors it down. I hope we don't see him put on something like a Centaur, but that's where we're kind of heading right now. There has been so much emphasis already on a lot of Oscar's kind of classic heroes here and heroes that would answer the Broodmother that I'm not quite sure what he's going to end up on. But okay, with the Tide ban, I think the easy pick now is just to go for the Pit Lord, but even that is going to be kind of telegraphed here from Thunder Awaken, and Knight kind of gets free reign with whatever carry he wants to play now. But I think the easy call is that Oscar is probably going to have to play Pit Lord this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Pit Lord. Guess there's a realm where they could maybe try to sneak in something like the Centaur as well, but I feel like your Pit Lord just has both more durability and more lockdown and damage uh, in sort of the AoE arena. So see if that's where they look. Infinity used their final ban on the Naga Siren, which is a bit of an interesting one, bit of a climb down, I think, after the Bloodseeker ban. The Naga doesn't quite fit into the fast-paced style, but maybe Infinity are thinking that these heroes could, instead of just trying to push the tempo, simply be looking to create space for a harder carry. But we do see what the option is going to be. The Drow Ranger comes into play, and most of the time, the Drow does build up a little bit more slowly, but the option exists to maybe take a couple of shortcuts.
Yeah, and really, now that I'm thinking about it, they've got three options. You either go for Pit Lord, either go for Darkseer, depending on what you
Hmm.
want to do, pair it up with the Nyx Assassin, after seeing the Drow, of course, or you go for Legion Commander. Those are kind of your big three right now, all having different, I think, quite large advantages, but it's a difficult choice. And I think no matter what they end up going for, it's going to be kind of hard to tell. And they go for the dead hero. They resurrect him. I mean, we haven't thought about Enigma in a while, even though he does kind of fit the bill for your Greaves, Rush, whatever hero. But again, no answer for that Broodmother. Illich is going to
Yeah,
have a field day.
it is an interesting choice, but as you say, it doesn't solve an immediate problem. But, well, I feel like Infinity, we're thinking there is no perfect choice here. You did outline three solid options, but no matter what, you were going to be leaving something on the table, so they decide maybe we can get away with being a little bit greedy.
Fingers crossed, right? Because as we were kind of talking about, Infinity really need this win if they want to have any hope of being in those top two spots. But they don't. Well, this is a gamble, and we'll see. Because that is a hero that either gets off the ground or flops, as well as Broodmother, as we already know. Gonna keep this game kind of brief, and we'll see. Maybe Gannick's going to be able to assist Leo Style in the mid lane a lot, and maybe that's the one lane they just try to absolutely win. But Lala, Trony, Coddle God is in the server. I'm excited to see this game regardless.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, the winner is almost inconsequential. I mean, for Thunder Awaken, it is obviously because they've already got their seed locked in place. But no matter who wins, something is going to happen here that we have not gotten to see a whole lot of before. Either this Enigma works, or the mid Coddle shows off some stuff here. So if you're a viewer, you're going to be happy one way or another. But I really do want to know what the overall plan is here for Infinity, because they've got so many heroes that are all going to need farm. No one among their core trio, Slark, SF, and Enigma, can afford not to have their items.
Yeah, it's greedy. It's farm heavy. It's either gonna work or it really isn't. But they also have the Train Protector to work with. Somebody who's gonna try and defend their towers maybe a little bit longer, be slightly more obnoxious, even though I don't really know how treants hold the tower versus the Brood Mother, because the Brood is right there in the trees with you, but we'll have to see. I think they're under a lot of pressure here, but if Thunderway can do win this, I mean, hell of a run here in Phase 2. They've done a great job so far, continuing to show us new heroes, higher variants. Going to be a very difficult team to draft against as well, coming into those best of threes.
This is why I hate people.
I mean, right? Big opportunity. One game left. You don't have anything left to play for, so let's try something different. Kind of feeling a little bit like some of the old Nouns runs that we would see, Nouns slash Four Zoomers in previous Pro Series, where they felt comfortable enough with their position in the group stage that they were willing to experiment most of the time at their opponent's expense.
Or Nouns. They would pick some awful heroes, man. They would pick some real bad ones, and then they would stop picking them, you know? They make a good run, but some rough group stage games, for sure.
Excel was not really sure. He was just dropping his boots repeatedly. I'm not sure if he knew this ward was here, so
There's only one way to see behind
you know,
the eyes.
accidental BM maybe, dropping your boots over and over again within enemy vision, but maybe he didn't know that they were watching over him. But we do have a bit of a pause coming out here, ET, and well, I wonder if anything can be made from this. Genic is standing underneath the Obs ward, but Excel, if he wants to really do anything, would probably have to skill up Charge of Darkness, and I don't know if that's the play you want at level 1.
No, definitely not. Always kind of want the greater bash, just gives you more damage potential. That, as well as, you know, without the bash, doesn't really make the Charge of Darkness feel very good either. You just get a 1.5 second stun. Doesn't have really any setup either. It'd have to be some clowny, you know, Charge of Darkness into toss back into hoping you can slow him enough with frost arrows, but the lineup is also already split. Michael decided to walk his friend down to the bottom lane, and Michael is also already chopping down the trees. It's a tree killing party down here, just making sure that that Train Protector is not going to have any coverage to play around, even though Michael will make an attempt for one of these bounty rooms.
Plenty of time to finish chopping down the rest of those trees once he gets back, but we'll see if anyone actually comes to contest him. I mean, Prada's close, but not that close, so
I offer rare kindness.
Thunder Awaken will get, presumably, 3 of the 4. Yeah, uncontested here for Excel to grab the other one, and they're off to a solid start. Prada, in the meantime, is going to be able to hit up Michael once or twice, but not much more coming together for him.
Yeah, he's doing the deeps. He's trying to get the punches in while he can, because, as we said, those trees are dwindling. There's not very much for him to play around. Like, even grabs one of them, you know? Why not? Typical build on the Tiny, just going to try and get as many last hits as possible, even though already Uchi comes through, and, yeah, you heal back to full.
And Dodd, with the first point up in the Essence Shift, is going to be slightly stronger for these early exchanges. Yeah, Michael kind of probably anticipated this happening, right? And I don't think he stays here for a crazy amount of time either. You would love to get Illich solo experience, and we have seen plenty of examples before where the Brood is able to just get by without a babysitter or any sort of backup and just kind of hold their own.
Oh, I'm also watching mid a little bit. Getting close. Both mid laners expending so much mana already. As Leo style, a little on the defensive here, and he's out of mangoes. He does have his bottle, I think, coming through now, but been an annoying lane so far. Alatroni has been a little abusive here. Also just rushed the boots, so just trying to keep that movement speed advantage over the SF.
Just keep on sending out the Illuminates here and there. Force Leo style to sort of do the dance. In terms of the actual exchange, the last hits are even, so all the posturing, all the poking and prodding, all the testing of defenses, it hasn't slowed either one of them down. Here's Leo style. Tries to push in a little bit. A couple of raises in there, really chunks down the coddle, and well, this is the thing, right? Both of these mid laners have to respect the damage output. If you get caught, well, kind of like that, you lose a pretty sizable chunk of your HP bar in one go.
No, it is a pretty funny lane, but, you know, could be worse, and we'll see. Once the supports get involved, that's really when we're going to get those early fireworks.
Oh, that one actually hit. Okay.
Really now?
Because Leo Style's going to shove off from the lane to grab a water rune, but an opportunity to punish him when he does so. So, lots of trading in the middle lane in terms of damage. Lots of trading bot here as well. Nobody's getting really low yet, ET, but they're not shy about just sort of getting in there, doing a little bit of damage. You don't want it to be a continuous fight, though, because obviously Dodd, with the Essence Shift, is going to get a lot of benefit out of that, but they go in, they do some damage, they back off, they wait for the stacks to go away, and then they do it again.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's paced down as well. Michael is waiting for an opportunity to leave and go get a bounty rune or go affect a water rune. He doesn't want to be sapping all too much XP, but he's doing what he's got to do. And here, Illich in a trade, but Avalanche lets him disengage. You know, not too much actually ends up coming off that.
Illich did not panic there. Just going to sort of hold the line. Meanwhile, we'll take a look up top, see how this one's playing out. Genic is, again, just trying to be a little bit obnoxious here and create space for Oscar, because the Enigma needs to farm. No really getting around that, although you're probably not going to outpace the Drow in this lane. That's probably asking for a little bit too much, but I feel like Genic's going to be in a pretty similar position to his counterpart Michael, where he wants to hit that point where Oscar maybe won't win the lane, but can't be necessarily picked off easily, and then the Nyx Assassin can actually go get more intel and maybe even look for a rotation for a kill.
Yeah, it's where, unfortunately for XL, his hero just isn't really great. Even though it's a nice play, killing off the Eidolons early, just scouting him out. Doesn't have a lane ward either, just saw it in the daytime, so it works. And now XL, gonna kind of have to deal with the pull, but nice, actually very fortunate bash there, but still losing some of the creeps. Being annoying, but it is a little bit of a sad SB lane. This is not what he expected to play against, I can only imagine.
Yeah, it doesn't have too many opportunities at the moment. We'll see what comes later, as he's going to TP himself back to base, but this is one of the benefits of the Spirit Breaker. You kind of have that Nature's Prophet effect. You TP home, and then you just charge your way back out, and it's a little slower than the double TP, but it'll get the job done. Making his way all the way top onto the Enigma. Not actually going to complete the charge, because that would be straight up suicidal, but gets him back into the lane. Did he see Genic there? Yes, he did. Hangs it out for a moment, so they know the Nyx Assassin has moved away. Unfortunately for them, they're not really in a position to do anything about that.
No, but Genic makes the rotation, scouts out the easy camps for Lalatroni to stack, and will probably stick around for the 6-minute rune, or at least to mirror maybe Excel. Doesn't know that the SB is over here, but instead actually decides to maybe stack, but I think 6-minute rune's probably your easy play. Of course, matters a lot more for Leo style than it does Lalatroni, even though, yeah, Lalatroni got a little bit close.
They're still going to try and make a play here with the supports coming in, and Leo style should die. So, in that regard, that doesn't go as poorly as it could have been. You still get the trade-off, but at that point, what is that? That's First Blood into the Shadow Fiend's hands, and Excel actually was not able to get away. Could not outrun the hasted Nyx Assassin, so First Blood and a 2-for-1. Very solid maneuver from the Infinity side.
A little bit all chatting too. Yeah, they know. But perfectly timed a rotation there from Genic as well. Just knowing that the mid lane ward probably died at that point. So, you know, you catch Alatroni and a bit of a mistake there. But that's only the beginning of this counterplay versus the Coddle. You have to make sure he doesn't get to farm up the jungle too freely. It's where you start to explode on farm. The Boots of Travel just got finished. Still really nice timings from Lalatroni. It's just a matter of what you can do continuously versus the Coddle. Otherwise, that divide will start to form, and it will become a little bit of a concern here. Even though the other aspect of Coddle mid is that you are giving Leo Style all of the farm in the world. And he is right there with you. He's pub Boots of Travel himself. He is just looking to farm just as quickly as you are.
Mm-hmm. Both the mid laners just given absolute free reign at this point in the game. But, you know, we'll see if that shifts when we get into the next 10 to 15 minutes, because you got Spirit Breaker on one side, you got Nyx Assassin on the other, so there are really the exact supports in this game that you would want to try and hunt down those farming heroes. And speaking of hunting down, Illich, he's going to dive the tower. Dodd is alone, doesn't have any backup. He is going to get taken out, and we have hit that point. It is a level, well, 7 now, Broodmother, and Slark doesn't really get to exist in this lane much anymore.
Nope, it's just kind of blown wide open. Now Illich just gets to take over anything and everything he wants, and eventually, well, we'll see how strong Leo Style is when it comes to pressure on his tower. But pressure that isn't there just yet. Illich has to, you know, farm his way over, but Illich is going to take absolutely everything. Infinity change objectives. They decide to go towards top. They're going to play onto Excel here, but Lalatroni is set up even faster. And, well, here comes the blast. It doesn't heal Excel, but still a lot of damage. It basically kills the dive as Michael looks for his toss back. Oh.
They don't realize they hit Oscar as well, but the toss still has that area damage, and Oscar... That sucks. I mean, he thought he was going to be safe for a moment to get off that black hole, so he commits it, and a massive cooldown, no gain, you still lose him, you don't get the tower either, everything really just kind of goes wrong there, and well, now you look at the posturing of the supports. If the Shadow Fiend isn't careful, Leo Style with the bots first is not very durable.
Yeah, he really doesn't want to rotate into a lot of these fights. It's where you're still playing Shadow Fiend. You need to get those prerequisite items, whether or not it's, you know, your Lance BKB or just Blink Yules. You're gonna be waiting a little bit, and sadly, even though Boots of Travel are a great farming item, it don't really help you out or your team out. It's nice that he's able to give Genic the mid lane every time he runs out of mana and has to go back to the fountain to refill his bottle, but other than that, Alatroni already is making more rotations, while Leo Style's kind of just stuck doing what he does best. But again, I still question, how is that going to affect the Brood? Will he be strong enough to deal with Illich? Because that is the real problem in this game for Infinity. The one that we've already talked about was not addressed in the draft either.
Yeah, Illich is a very scary man. Got himself the Hood of Defiance already. Working towards the pipe. We'll see after the pipe. Should probably just go into that sort of Mech Guardian's Greave build up, but he's got all the time in the world to farm it as Lalatroni. He's getting hit here. The Requiem comes in. The raises are doing a lot of work. Not quite. Oh, man. Not quite enough as Lalatroni gets the self-heal from his own Illuminate. That's... well, might just have been enough to save his life, and now the Infinity supports are not in a great spot. Prada getting slowed down. No assistance from Oscar because Black Hole is still on cooldown.
Yeah. Very unfortunate, but that's why they call him Coddle God. It's where he knows. And I mean, that's just an ultra sick play. Gets him out of that situation. Baits. It's crazy that Knight is also set up for that play as mid. Well, some dancing, but Genic, yeah, gonna get taken down, or maybe not. Vendettas just barely gets it in time as Illich loses all of his spiders, but Illich is also just walking here. He's gonna get out. Doesn't have ulti, no overgrowth on Prada because his Nyx Assassin stole the tome. which will turn into maybe a little bit of scouting here onto Lala Trony, but still defended the tower, all that matters, and kicked Illich back out towards bottom.
Pops the Carapace there. And now there might genuinely be kill potential here. Lalatroni has to be so careful. And yeah, that is just perfect. And at this point, Genic, maybe he dies for this. There is a charge coming in onto him, but he's done his job. Oh, he's done his job and then some there. Gets the stun, cancels out the charge. No TP for 20, but did he just smoked. Okay, well. Nobody wins forever. Genic is eventually going to get taken down, but that kill on Coddle pays for anything that happens in the aftermath.
Yeah, it's a solo kill. It gives him a level and a half. It stops up Lalatroni for the time being, even though he does just complete up his Spirit Vessel, but still, it's funny. It'll happen as well until we get the BKB from Lalatroni or any way to get past that Carapace, maybe a Yule Scepter or Force Staff, you know. It's just the counter. The counter that they've decided to bank on in this game. One that will, you know, either work or it either won't work, depending on how hard Thunder Awaken kind of group together, as that's kind of the counter towards Nyx Assassin. If you're S5, well, you can't really get picked off when you're grouped up like that. As top, though, yeah, that'll happen.
Not a whole lot to be done there. It's not able to stop the charge. Everything just kind of follows after. Speaking of charge, they're going to get in on to the Tree of Protector. They hit him up with the Spirit Vessel as well, just so there's no potential sort of living armor or Leech Siege shenanigans, and they find the pick. While all that was going down, though, Illich just waltzes his way mid, takes another Tier 1 tower. Leo style, mostly powerless to defend that.
No, just drug a little bit too far away. Leo style already didn't have that much mana, so just the split attention. He does have the Yule Scepter now, however, so finding a pickoff with the Requiem would be pretty nice. Also is able to do that. Just Yules is the Spirit Breaker whenever he tries to go on him. But because he's gone for the Yules before the Blink Dagger, that of course means that the only way that Leo style gets on top of you is if he Yuleses you from the tree line. There's nothing sneaky about that play. He is always going to have to catch you kind of in those scant circumstances, or he's not catching you at all and just has to go back to farming.
In the meantime, checking in on how Knight's doing here. Focusing on some stats here early on. Got the Lance, looking for the Hurricane Pike upgrade. Meanwhile, for Dodd on the other side, opting for no Echo Saber, wants the Diffusal instead. His teammates, though, they're in a little bit of trouble. The Requiem does get off, but Leo style is just taking too much damage. That TP will not complete in time. There's going to be the Nether onto Prada, forcing him back into the engagement. And Lalatroni picks up 2 of those kills. Now they're going to look for a third. Do they have detection? Yes, they do. Genic is not getting out. And Infinity, well, this is the problem with these fights. If you don't have the full strength, there's just so much durability. There's so much lockdown. Lalatroni is just going to heal everyone up left, right, and center, and you really can't out-sustain that.
Yeah, and they tried to escape with the Overgrowth and even using the Requiem. They were just not in the position to make any aggressive play happen, but hey, they get punished. It's just too difficult. It's just hard for them to play right now. And now look over at bottom. Another charge goes off. Dot's getting scouted. Don't know if he's going to die, and yeah, does decide to cancel it out with it turning into nighttime as well. It's a bit of a suicide mission versus the Slark. But that is the good news for Infinity. Dodd has been relatively untouched. He doesn't care about the Coddle all too much either, because he just has Dark Pact, he has the Dispels to play against. Hasn't been able to slow down Illich at all, but Illich has also vacated the bottom lane for the time being, so the Slark has been getting quite a bit of farm.
Doing his best to try to catch up, and as we pointed out before, the Diffusal Blade as a pickup here does make him a little bit more intimidating as, well, Excel gonna try to charge himself out. Genic did not get off the Carapace in time. Oh, there's the Yules though. Okay. They're able to lock him down, and Leo style should clean this up. And he had the angle this time, ET. You were mentioning before the Yules, it's not really a subtle play, but against a charging hero who's just looking for a way out, it's gonna do the trick.
Yep, they find the line as Michael.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, A little bit of a collapse here, and that's unfortunate, as well as Genic now giving up the game a little bit here, but oh, this is unfortunate. Dodd, he wants to go into Lalatroni, but he sees that he just got a Force Staff off the courier, and then has to give up on helping his friend.
Prada, okay. At least going to be able to complete his TP out while Dodd gets away on foot. Grabbed an Arcane Rune as he left, but the loss of the Shadow Fiend there is rough. Genic's death afterwards is, as you said, just kind of unfortunate. Not a backbreaker, but with the Shadow Fiend off the field, they're going to start making their way bot. Oscar does have that black hole back online, but no BKB, no Blink, nothing of that nature. So here comes Excel, just looking to make a forcing move. The TP does come in from Dodd, though. They are going to try to bring some sort of reinforcement, and that should be enough to kill Excel. But do they go for any more? The angle that Leosal is taking is looking for the fight, but he's going to get silenced mid-Requiem channel. Now caught by the toss. Overgrowth comes through, but it's already too late. Leosal gets taken down. Genic makes a nice play to try and get in there with the stun onto Lalatroni, but his Force Staff is going to allow him to re-maneuver, and all this time, Knight has suffered basically no damage. He is picking his moment to try and push back in. That multi-shot is kind of off the mark, but at this stage, ET, it feels like it doesn't matter. Oscar's been taken down. Dodd has been silenced up, and Infinity are on the retreat.
Yeah, and sure, they're not going to get the kill onto the Slark, but it's still too late. And of course, all of that support, all of those extra items, is Prada now. Looks like he's going to fall. Just too much magic damage is getting through. And the only reason the Slark is to walk out there is because he's getting living armored, he's getting forced around, he's getting boosted up, he's got the mech coming through. But because they messed up that first initial jump with Leo style, it's just not enough time. And don't find a black hole either. Oscar just was underneath too much pressure. The only hero he could have gotten was Illich in a single black hole, and it's not like anybody would have been hitting him during it. So doesn't go for the play because he knows how expensive that ability is. And okay, sure, they get Oscar bottom, gets that first stack of agility for Dodd because he hasn't really been in a position to get any stacks just yet, but waiting for that black hole from Oscar, while the opponents, well, Thunder Awaken decided, yeah, let's push in a Roche. Excel just died bottom to the Enigma, so the scary guy in the pit, well, he's gone. Michael, though? Okay. Maybe a punish here if Leo style gets away as well, and it looks like he will. Not bad, but still, they refocus back on the pit.
For just a moment, you know, they're sort of thinking, if Michael survives this burst, maybe we get in, maybe we turn a fight, but once it's clear he's dead, yeah, they just claim their objective. They get 2 lives up on the Drow Ranger, and now Genic, yeah, he recognizes this is not a great situation. He was invised up, but the charge was still coming at him, so he'll TP himself away, and, well, you don't really get much intel out of that maneuver, but at least you don't lose another hero. Now on the other side of things, ET, this is an interesting one. Lalatroni getting the Aether Lens, which obviously is going to be the upgrade in the near future, but for now at least, the lens itself is not really a big deal. He is just kind of looking for the Octarine core later on, but Excel, he's looking for the fight. They managed to get in, and, well, there is one benefit of the Aether Lens. It does give you a little bit more range on the Solar Bind, and they find those kills. At the same time, though, on the other side of the map, Knight is getting hit up. The problem is, even if you kill him once, you've got to get him a second time, and now Oscar's a little gun-shy. He doesn't have a great scenario to use his black hole, so he just TPs away. And that's a 2v1 onto the Drow Ranger. They would have loved to just pick off the Aegis and be done with it, but they just can't get it.
Yeah, just felt a little bit anxious, and they don't want to use the black hole on the Aegis. They want to get him in that second round when he's respawning, when he can't react with any of his items, but Lalatroni just makes the kill take too much time, and then the rest of the lineup shows up, and it just takes way too long. At least Infinity get to fill the other side of the map, but again, Thunder Awaken very nicely just move onto another objective. They get pushed out of top, but there's no tier 2 top. There's a tier 2 bottom for them to take, and they get it pretty much no contest because they know that Infinity are still kind of dodging them out right now. As Prada, well, poor guy. Oh, this Brood matchup is just brutal. There's just no hiding from the free pathing hero. It's just violence on violence.
Just pushing from one fight to another, it seems, as Lalatroni is going to TP himself top. Not sure if there's anyone he knows is here, but there are heroes nearby. Dodd is looking for it. Oscar's coming in. Do they go for it? It would be so risky, but they're going to give it a try. Genic is coming in, but the charge is actually going to get canceled. But look at that gust, catching out everyone. The avalanche on the backside just shuts it all down. And, well, they go from thinking, hey, can we kill Lalatroni, to, hey, can we get anyone out of here alive? And the answer is no. Just the worst possible sort of scenario every single time, ET. They really can't catch a break.
No, just gets picked off while they're trying to make a pick off. Another black hole doesn't go down because it's just hard. Versus the SP and the Tiny, they just know. Now, Leo style, well, okay, trying to get the punish, but he's got friends. And, well, they knock him out of the Illuminate, so it might not be the fastest kill, but you are still just perma-stunned. Just vision not getting cleared, getting pressed across the map. Prada's trying to get out and get some of these wards and D wards going, but it's just impossible with how much of the map that everybody is trying to play on. And okay, maybe this kill on Genic doesn't work out, and Excel is going to be in a slightly dangerous position, but okay, here we go.
Connecting onto two. They need damage, though. They have to be able to take down someone. Excel is dropping low, but they've got to get Knight. They're going to come in with the overgrowth. Knight is dropping, but he's not actually dying. And now they've got to get the hell out of here. Prada's going to try to fall back, but he's not going to make it home. Oscar gets clipped by the Illuminate, but he's in the safe zone. Dodd, however, very much not safe. Trying to hide in the tree line, getting bounced around. The toss is going to catch him. And Dodd falls, and actually said earlier that Oscar had fallen back, but Illich just kept chasing and picked him off as well.
Yeah, and they used Glyph thinking that that would either dissuade or kill them during the dive, but nope. It will instead result in a very quick Rax that Thunder Awaken are just going to get. And I mean, traditions hold true here. As a Knight trying to buy an item, he buys a Deso because he doesn't care about this game anymore. He wants to end. He is done. He actually just does not care anymore.
They're pushing tier 4s. Yeah, they want this to be over and done with right this second. And you can hardly blame them, right? I mean, what do they have to fight up against? Black Hole's still down for 2 minutes. There's no overgrowth. They also still have Aegis for 10.
They're pinging him.
Genic. Good stun to start. They need the follow-up. There's going to be the follow stun, but the Hurricane Pike is going to reposition Knight. He's going to go for the Gust as well. Dodd is able to remove it initially. Goes in now for the pounce, and the Aegis just timed out. No healing, but there's that defensive toss. Getting Knight away from the fight while his teammates push themselves in. Prada will fall. Oscar down as well. Leo Style has to defensively Yule Scepter, but he is still directly in Illich's line of fire, so he will die, and it's all going to hell, ET. Knight is somehow still not dead. Prada buys back, TP's in, dies a second time. GG will be called. And actually, you know what? Okay, never mind. Prada will die. And that's a rampage for Illich. I was about to apologize, but he goes down. Broodmother closes it out in style. Knight didn't die in any of that. And Thunder Awaken, I mean, after a 63-minute game one, they were kind of pissed off here. A little angry at Infinity. You're keeping us around all this time. We're just going to smack you back down. 35 kills in 24 minutes. That's a statement.
Yeah, and it's, of course, feeling like a little bit of an outdraft. You know, the Broodmother gets through. Illich does what he wants. Lalatroni gets his best hero, apparently. But Lalatroni also just works the entire map. He just doesn't die to Genic. Okay, dies the one time to Genic. Gotta give him some credit. But otherwise, it's just exactly where he needs to be. Gets so much clutch healing done. I've never seen as many last-second heals get off from Lalatroni. Usually, it's just something in the back of your mind. You're like, oh, let's heal. Let's all stand from the cuddle. You know, whatever. Lalatroni just found so many breakneck plays on a hero that doesn't really look or feel that good in the mid lane anymore, but he just makes it work. He makes it look fantastic. He props up Illich. He props up Knight. And even Knight, you know, going for the risky Deso play, almost killing himself, gets saved, gets bailed out by Lalatroni yet again there. And the rest of the lineup also just fills in. 3-1 and 20 on Michael, 2-5 and 18 on Excel. They're just aggressive. They're in your face. They don't let you play Dota. And nobody's even eliminated from this game is the best part. But it feels like Infinity are going home crying because of how Thunder Awaken won this game.
Yeah, they're not going to be happy about it. They still get to go to playoffs, but this loss is probably going to leave a bit of a bad taste in their mouth. Whereas Thunder Awaken, they close it out in style. Their final record is, I think, 12 and 2. So well, those two losses were also spread out across 2 different series. So nobody was able to actually take 2 games off of them, which should have them feeling confident. I don't know who will be the 2 seed between Infinity and 5-Rat Force Staff. That's still going to depend on the outcome of our next match, but if you're Thunder Awaken, you're feeling pretty good regardless of which of those 2 teams you play.
Yeah, you're happy. You're chilling. You're just sitting there smiling to yourself thinking, yeah, that was a good game. And I think Lalatroni, now is this where we start seeing the coddle? Is it in the latter half when they've only got so many more series to play? I mean, I love it. Maybe we see those respect bands coming through. It's
Mm,
just where Thunder Awaken suddenly becomes a much more difficult team to draft against. I love it.
yeah, just giving you that little wrinkle in terms of your draft strategy right at the very end, just when you thought you had them pinned down in terms of what Lalatroni could play. But congratulations to Thunder Awaken, #1 seed. They will await news of who their opponents will be, and that news is going to be coming ET pretty damn quickly here, because we are moving into our final best of 2 of the night, 5-Rat Force Staff versus Dreamers. So on the 5-Rat side, they're trying to move into that #2 seed. On the Dreamers side, they're just trying to hold on and get back into the playoff picture at all.
Yeah. And, well, Dreamers can. It's kind of an upset, I think, at this point, but they're also a team that we've seen continuously just throws themselves against the wall, tries their hardest, even in situations where it doesn't look like it's going to work out. We'll have to see, especially from Jamari. What's it going to be today, Dreamers?
Well, 5-Rat Force Staff versus Dreamers Esports will be our final matchup of the night, coming your way in just a little bit. So stick around, and we'll see you on the other side of